So let's now talk about the constructors. Let's make some predictions for the constructors, who I think is going to finish where and how I think the season's going to go. We're going to start off right at the bottom of the list. We're going to start with Haas F1 team. Unfortunately, I think there's too much going on at Haas, and I think they're going to struggle again next year. Although they have two very competent drivers in Hülkenberg and Magnussen, I just don't think they're going to have that winning edge. I don't think they're going to be able to break into the midfield, and I think they're going to find themselves as backmarkers. Obviously, losing team principal Gunther Steiner and technical director Simon Rester is going to have a big impact on the upcoming season, but we'll see what Ayu Kimitsu can do and what he can do in regards to development of their Formula 1 car. Next up, I'm going to put Alfa Romeo to finish in P9. Obviously, they've got all their drama going on. They've changed team names. I think they're now called Stake F1 team. But they're going to have a lot of change over the coming years with Audi coming into play. Obviously, Guan Yu Zhou and Valtteri Bottas both know that their seats are up for the taking, but will they be able to put on performances to show that they deserve that seat when the time comes, with Audi coming in and the changes of regulations in 2026, or will Audi want to bring in their own men? Obviously, they've been linked with the likes of Nico Hülkenberg, Mick Schumacher, Carlos Sainz, and most recently Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon. But there's only 2 seats, and Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou have the best opportunity, being in the team right now, to continue in that place. You've also got Théo Pourchaire waiting in the wings after his brilliant performance in Formula 2 last season. Next up, in 8th position, I'm going to put a team which might surprise you. I'm going to put Alpine. I think they've struggled recently with development, and a lot of people seem to be leaving due to a lack of ambition and determination within the team to become one of them top teams on the grid. Whether the money's there or not, I do not know, but there's a long way for Alpine to go before they're in the right place to be battling for multiple podiums and wins per season. In P7, I'm going to put Williams. I do think they're going to take a step forward, but I don't know how far forward they're going to step. I don't think they're going to rise up the constructors, but I do think they're going to come away with more points at the end of the 2024 season. Obviously, last season they collected 28 points and Alex Albon collected 27. But heading into his second year, Logan Sargent will be looking to provide much more support to the Williams outfit. Obviously, James Vowles will be looking at other options. There's no doubt in my mind that the likes of Kimi Antonelli in Formula 2 will get a good scouting from the Williams team. Obviously, Logan Sargent knows the situation. He's got a new 1-year contract for the 2024 season, but there is a long way to go until he hits the heights like the likes of Alex Albon. Is Logan Sargent going to wash out in 2024? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and let me know your predictions for the 2024 season. In 5th place, I'm going to put Aston Martin. Obviously, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll had a brilliant start to the 2023 season, and they'll be looking to carry that on into 2024. Unfortunately, though, they fell away in 2023. And for Fernando Alonso, he will be very disappointed that he was only able to collect, I believe it was 2 podiums in the back end of this season. He'll be hoping for the car to come back and be much better for that 2024 season. But are Aston Martin capable? Do they need a better second driver? I don't really rate Lance Stroll. I think he'd be good at an Alpine maybe, but I don't think he's good enough for a car that battles for podiums, wins, and even the front row of the grid in qualifying. Next up, in P6, I'm going to put Alphatoy. They've recently just changed names. I'm still going to call them Alphatoy though, because realistically, that's who they are. They're Alphatoy. They're probably called Racing Bulls, RB this, because you know what? They're owned by RB. RB decide what they do. It's that simple. But I think they're going to finish in P6. I think the driver lineup they've got is very strong, and obviously they're taking pretty much everything they can from Red Bull next season, so they're going to have a very, very good car. The only problem that I see happening is if they end up being the second fastest team, that's going to cause some major implications down the grid. We've already had McLaren's Zach Brown commenting on how wrong it is to have one ownership group own and control the stake of two teams. Gives them 4 seats, extra votes for regulation changes, whether that be engine or car parts, etc. So that is something to keep your eye on into the next season. Next up, we're going to talk about McLaren. I think they're going to end up finishing P4, but I do think the second, third and fourth are going to be very, very tight in 2024. But I think McLaren are going to be the worst of the three. I think Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are going to end up being an incredible partnership if they stay together and McLaren build a winning car. Obviously, you look at Lando Norris, he's already had conversations with Red Bull in the past, but is yet to move on. His contract will expire at some point, and will he have a winning car to encourage him to stay with McLaren? I don't know. Is he going to get overshadowed by Oscar Piastri next season? Because I think that is a real possibility. Oscar Piastri showed lots of potential and promise in that first year. It's now time for him to build up that consistency and get on the front row of the grid, get some more podiums, and I think he is capable of doing that next season. McLaren have put a lot of pressure on themselves, as I said in a previous video I made, but I do think that they're going to end up finishing P4 in the Constructors' Championship. Next up in P3, it's the one and only Mercedes with Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. I feel like they're going to start the season quite slowly with pretty much a brand new car. Are they going to be able to come out the traps firing? And that is what I worry about. It may take a couple of upgrade packages before Mercedes are where they want to be. So for me, I think it's about patience this season. I don't think they're going to be challenging for championships this season, but I do think by the end of the season they could be up there battling for wins. So we've got 2 teams left, and for me, Ferrari are going to finish in second next season. I believe they're going to have a good package to start with, in my opinion, and I think that they have a good driver lineup. I think Mercedes have the best lineup on the grid, but I think Ferrari's is second or third best. It's a toss-up between McLaren and Ferrari. I do think Ferrari are going to come into this season with a point to prove. Fred Vasseur, obviously disappointed that they missed out on the 2023 P2 by just 3 points. And that can all be sparked back to a DNF here, a poor pit stop there. And that will be something that they'll be looking to rectify heading into this 2024 season. And finally, I think that Red Bull are going to win the championship. I don't think it's going to be as dominant as it was this year. I think the wins are going to be a bit more spread out. But after hearing Jake Dennis talk about how the car looks on the simulator, it could quite easily be another dominant season for Red Bull, collecting multiple wins, multiple podiums. But only time will tell. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to win the 2024 championship. Let me know who you think is going to be the surprise package. For me, I think it's going to be Alphatoy, Racing Bulls, whatever you want to call them. I think they're going to be the surprise package. But ultimately, is it really a surprise? If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit like, you comment your predictions and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.